All right, and we're live. Hi, everyone. I'm Jenni Rochelle. Welcome to the Surviving His Sex Addiction and Betrayal show. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a life coach and a spiritual director, and I work with women who have discovered that their husband is a sex addict and has betrayed them, and they are, hello, mental health Persia, welcome. Their sex addict husband has betrayed them, and they're dealing with all of the trauma and the aftermath of what that looks like. And today, this week, we're going to be focusing on support. You know, if you're familiar with me, I have a program that I work within where there's 7 essential things that I really try to teach all the women that I work with. Safety, self-regulation, support, sisterhood, strategy, story, and spirituality. And like all of those things are what sort of go into how you recover and heal and find hope and healing after this incredibly hard, literally traumatizing thing that happens to you. So we've been talking about safety and self-regulation for the last few weeks, and all of that within this context of this sort of crazy quarantine pandemic event that we're all living within. And how do you continue to offer and find all those sorts of things for yourself, safety, self-regulation, within this new world that we're living in. And today we're going to talk about support. And, I think right now it's kind of like there's this double bind or this double-edged sword thing that we're in. We're like, on one level, we're super isolated from our support systems and from our people. And it's been really hard. And for those of us who are used to having a lot of community and connections, like we're having to redefine what that looks like. And the other beautiful thing that's happened is that it has also sort of forced the world to figure out ways to do that remotely, figure out ways to support one another. And everybody in my house has had teletherapy this last week, where the therapists they've been sort of working on this for a while, sort of slowly in this sort of new paradigm of having therapy online. Coaching has been virtual for years, but now the therapeutic world is also sort of moving to that, and schools are trying to figure out how to remotely, and all these jobs are trying to figure out how to work remotely. So it's sort of opened up the opportunities to find lots of different kinds of support remotely, even during this really difficult time. So at a high level, like the support that you need when you're recovering from discovering that your husband, is a sex addict and betrayed you, is like you need a lot of support. And this is what I talk about in my guidebook, sexaddictionguidebook.com. You can go download it for free. It walks through all of the 7 things that I've talked about. And it talks about the support that you need. Like you need a lot of support. I often refer to the women, mainly women that I worked with when I was really in the darkest period of my life and trying to decide whether I was going to try to save my marriage. And I really hate save because that's such a loaded phrase. But whether I was going to stay married or whether I was going to get divorced and make the very painful and difficult decision that I ended up making, which was to end my marriage. But during that time, I had so much community and so much support, and I invested so much time and money and resources in my own healing. And that's what I most want to convey to you today, is that you really have to be committed to your healing and to finding what works for you. Like seriously, literally, as my kids would say, literally, I had 2 therapists. I had like a therapist I'd worked with for years, and I had worked with a therapist who specialized in sex addiction and betrayal trauma. I had 2 coaches. I had a coach that I'd worked with for years. And then I also had a coach who was a partnership coach who was APSAT trained, like I am, meaning I was trained by the Association of Partners of Sex Addiction Trauma Specialists. I am trained to work with women who have been betrayed or have experienced sex addiction, that their spouse is a sex addict. I also had 2 yoga teachers / healers that I met with regularly. I had a functional doctor who was checking all of my hormone. I still go in and have like 15 vials of blood drawn, because such profound, prolonged trauma impacts your body to regulate and take care of itself and make hormones. And my thyroid was impacted, my hormone levels were impacted, and that obviously had profound and lasting effects. And I still go in regularly and meet with these doctors. I also had, joked in the comments, I met with a woman who saw dead people because I was desperate to find hope and healing and information. And I wanted to make sure that this wasn't going to happen to me again. And here's the thing, right? There's no way to ensure that's never going to happen to you again. But what I wanted to make sure was that I was as healthy as I could be going forward as I built this new life for myself. And I have built a new life for myself with a man who I believe with all my heart is good and honest. He is not perfect. And we're in therapy together, and we'll always be in therapy together. And that doesn't mean that anything's wrong. It's because we are proactively investing in ourselves and in our marriage and in our family. So today, one of the big things I want to announce is, and it's still coming, the details are still being finalized, and this has gotten a little bit waylaid because I have myself had trouble focusing and staying on track with everything that's happening in the world. But I'm going to be launching a new program. So far I've been talking about the woman in the desert, and the sex addiction guidebook that I've created is about for the woman in the desert who is lost and isolated and alone and trying to rebuild her life and struggling with am I going to stay? Am I going to go? That is one woman, and I love that woman, and she is near and dear to my heart. And also near and dear to me is the woman who has made the painful decision to end her marriage and move on. And she wants there to be more love, and she wants to make sure that she is as healed and healthy as she can be as she moves into this new life. She's ready to rediscover who she is, maybe for the first time, to tap into what are her true essences and live from that, to live from joy. And this woman is ready to invest time and resources into her own healing, because this is her comeback moment. And when I say her, I mean you. This is your comeback moment. So if that's you, if you're a woman and you know that you're done and it's painful, and I'm not saying you don't waver still a little bit, because there's a very long period where you decide that you're out, and part of that is the process of saying I am out. And then it gets hard, it gets scary, and we can have moments where we doubt ourselves and we may get drawn back in, and that's also part of the process. And that's why you need support. The whole reason why I have this desert, why I call it Woman in the Desert, and this new program, if I haven't said it yet, Queen of the Desert. I want to work with the women who are ready to become the queen, find their own sovereignty, and be a queen of the desert and queen of their own hearts. That's the woman who I am calling in and ready to work with. And so here's the thing that the reason I've talked about this in the guidebook, again, sexaddictionguidebook.com. If you don't have it already, there was this moment where I was meeting with one of my coaches, and I was talking about the work that I wanted to do, which is really what I'm talking about now, this Queen of the Desert program. And she said to me, when a woman goes into the desert, if she doesn't have something to hold on to, she'll go back. And it's for me, what kept me from going back, even when I wavered and when I was scared, and sometimes I would kind of think about going back, or maybe even try to go back, was this community of support that I created for myself that empowered me and enabled me to keep choosing me. I give you permission right now to choose you and keep choosing you over and over again, okay? It's not selfish, it's necessary right now. Okay, so a lot of information, but the big thing that I just want to reiterate to you is if you are a woman who has made the painful decision that she is ready to end her marriage, or maybe you're already divorced, but you've made that decision and you're ready to move on and find hope and healing, then please get on my mailing list. Go download sexaddictionguidebook.com. because in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be sending out some amazing opportunities, new ways to work with me, a new video series, and launching this new program, Queen of the Desert. So I super hope that you go download sexaddictionguidebook.com one more time for the cheap seats in the back. And I hope you enjoy your Sunday, and I hope you get some sunshine in your life today. Thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.